It's a beautiful morning. I think I'll pull outside for a while and just smile. Just taking some clean, fresh air for
Smooches, everybody. Um, Today we're going to do meditation, but first I wanted to go over just a couple of things from last week. When I was talking about some of the channels that I listened to, I talked about the first young man that was like this younger of the generations I listened to, but I didn't mention his channel, and his channel is Molly Boy TV, which you should check him out sometime. He's honest, and he's kind of fun to watch in his reactions, his surprises, his wows. Um, Also, one of the comments that I got from a friend, Lisa, um, in talking about reactions, we're the same age. We went to junior high together, into high school just a teeny bit. Um, but anyways, she was talking about the reaction of, oh, I can't think of the name of the band, but they remade Simon Garfunkel's Sound of Silence. And I remember the first time I watched that too. It's the one with the guy shaved head. Um, I mean, it was intense and dark. And my first reaction to it was, whoa, he's taking it to a whole different level. But when you think about it, when Simon Garfunkel came out with that, for the times, it was, a deeper song, a darker song in its content. And I guess we did get that. But in today's world, where it's a little bit more intense, more acceptable, understood. I mean, in the end, I was just blown away. I thought it was such a great rendition, and it went there, as far as the darkness of the song. Um, okay, so anyways, I also wanted to, since we're doing meditation and talk about spiritual things, I just wanted to kind of do a disclaimer of sorts that these are my beliefs. I'm not expecting anybody to do what I do or believe what I believe. This channel is all about my experiences, and if through my experiences and my insights it helps you, that's great. Take it or leave it. This is not about preaching. Well, I guess I get talking and it feels like I'm preaching sometimes, but I'm not expecting anybody to say, oh, that's the way it is. That's my beliefs, my insights, and I hope I truly hope it helps someone that might be looking for some answers and nothing else seems to fit for them. Maybe just like as I was introduced to things and it felt true in my heart that that was good for me, that's what I follow. That's what you should do too. Okay, so what is meditation? To me, meditation is no different than prayer, um, in that you silence yourself, you try to stay focused on being present now. People pray to ask for guidance, they pray to just have some silence and quiet time, or, wishing someone well. If someone's sick, I'm sure at some point or another, most of you have prayed in your own way. But it's a time out for the physical body, because when we go into that space of being present, um, we tend to be more relaxed and more centered. Um, it's my belief that, especially in today's world, if you're focused on your body, you see how tense everybody is. And um, unless they're practicing meditation on a regular basis, but, our bodies need to just relax. Sometimes you need to kind of, be present and pay attention to your body. And if you see you're all tense, that's the time to take time out for your physical body, to silence the noise. I said in my last video, if you're asking for guidance or you're trying to get connected spiritually, you really can't do it if there's a lot of noise around you. You have to get to a silent, quieter place to be present. Um, I often, yes, when I first started meditation, we did it on a regular basis, and I'll go into that more at the end of the video, towards the end. Um, but I'm learning as I'm older that meditation doesn't mean that you have to sit in a quiet place in a certain position and go through a certain regimen to get there. Um, I spend a lot of time drawing. I'm somewhat of an artist and a crafter and such. And even in my gardening, anything that you can do, and I tend to believe that it happens more easily with people that are creative or have a creative outlet. That I remember drawing portraits was my favorite thing, especially of musicians. And, I could go so far into it to be so focused and present with every line that I was taking that by the time I was done, I felt like I knew that person, whether it was John Lennon or Jimi Hendrix, whoever I was drawing. I felt like I knew them better because I was so present. It was just me, the pencil, the paper. And I didn't, often wouldn't eat, didn't even think about it. I would do it often when it was just quiet time for me. And um, to me, that's meditation. If you're gardening, as long as you're like focused on what you're doing when you're planting something, to feel it, to um, when you're putting in dirt, to say a prayer over it, that it's welcome to your garden, sort of thing. If you just cut out all the other noise and you're just present in that moment. We spend so much of our time thinking about the past or the present, um, and the now is something that's outside the mind, because as soon as you bring your mind into it, you're already in the past or going into the present. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So to be present means to not even think about it, not even to think about anything except what you're doing. Leave time out of it. Um, if you put intention into being in that place, I mean, it just um, is so rewarding. Um, and it really does relax us, and it just helps us mind, body, and spirit. I hope that makes sense. Okay, and when to meditate. Um, I think first thing in the morning, um, as you get older, of course, you got to get up and you got to go to the bathroom and stuff. But like I'll just take time out. I'll go and feed my deer and my birds, and okay, they're not mine, but water my yard, take care of those things, because those things depend on me doing, feeding them and such, and watering them. So I do that first, and then before I have my coffee, because I get jittery. I hope you can tell I've already had my coffee now, but before I have my coffee, I'll sit for just 5 minutes and breathe and be present. Um, you can do it when you're at work. You've got lunch and it's nice enough out. I can't imagine doing it now, but if you can find a quiet place and just sit there and breathe for 5 minutes and try to relax your body, paying attention to that. Bedtime, a lot of people use audio tapes. On YouTube, there's plenty of channels for meditation that do guided meditations for what you're looking for, whether it's just to be able to relax or to run affirmations. Or in those types of guided meditations, they always do the relaxation and the breathing. And if you fall asleep, but you're falling asleep relaxed. The most important time, I think, to practice meditation in its basic form, like to just breathe and to focus on your breath, is when you're feeling frustrated or confused or angry or any of those things. When you recognize that you're, because you're going to put out there something negative and it's going to come back to you. You can't solve anything by being angry with another person, or, if you feel like you're not in a good place, or that the energy level is like in a very negative place around you, just be honest with yourself and the people around you. I need a timeout. You can go to the bathroom. I don't think that's the best place to sit there and try to meditate, but remove yourself from the situation. Just breathe a little bit, let your body relax a little bit, kind of think about, why are you angry? Give me some guidance. Let me go back to the situation and try to just communicate, not argue. And Yeah, to me, that's the best time to meditate, to take a time out for your body, mind, body, spirit, and try again, to go back to wherever the situation is. Just talking about the energy levels and how you can change things. Have you ever like been in a room where there's one person, like at work or whatever, that's angry or upset, and everybody's trying to help them, and everybody's kind of coming down, and it just takes one person to change that energy level by coming into the room and saying, "Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Sorry you're having a bad day, but let's try to, get things going in a different direction." This is the change in energy that meditation can bring to you and to others. I call it right action. So let right action flow through you is not only best for yourself but everybody around you. But if you put out negative, you're only going to feel negative. So, okay, about being present. You know, we talked about just a minute ago of, you know, removing yourself from the time set kind of thing, because the minute your mind gets into it, oh, I'm thinking about the past or the present, I mean, the future, you're not in the present moment. So, different ways of being present. How often do you go for a walk? And on that walk, you're just thinking about what happened yesterday. Well, what do I got to face when I go to work? Instead of just paying attention to what's going on around you on your walk. Birds, the trees, the plants, or like going for a walk in your garden. To just be present is to stop and look at the flowers, to smell the roses, to feel one, to just be appreciative of that moment. Or going out to dinner. How many? I have no patience for seeing a whole family around a table out to dinner, and everybody's on their phones somewhere else. Put the phones around. I mean, that's a great time, or even at home, to sit around the table with each other and to really focus on what the other person is saying and contribute to the conversation, but just being present enough to be there for the other people and for yourself then. It just makes you closer. It's quality time. Um, I love sitting out here on my porch and just listening to the birds. And it's not easy, but the more you practice it, the easier it gets. But to start somewhere, as soon as you find your mind going somewhere else, you can even have a piece of paper to remind yourself what you were thinking. Fine and dandy, but say to yourself, okay, that can wait till later. Let me just have some time for myself to rejuvenate, to restore myself. Even cleaning the house. To me, cleaning the house it's not something I do all the time. My house is not dirty or anything, but cleaning it is not a priority that I do every day. But to cleanse your house, to set intentions as you're doing it, like you're cleaning away any negativity, to get some lemon scent in the summertime going through your house, and to have the windows all clean and stuff. To do that in a present moment of setting an intention, like I want to start things anew. I want to make sure everything's fresh and getting rid of what I don't need, as far as the dirt and things. Let me get an energy going in our house, that incense or candles and music and all that, but being very present in what you're doing, that to set purpose behind why you want to clean your house and what that's going to mean to you. Okay, I also find that anything crafty or creative, to be present in that moment. See, this is a senior moment. I did think of something that I didn't write down, but taking a shower. I was, even though this is just on a video, I get really nervous doing this. It's like I want to make sure that I speak the right words to make the most out of this, and to hopefully connect with somebody that might need something like meditation, and make sure I can get through to them of what it could do for them. Anyways, I get nervous doing this. It's ridiculous because I'm the only person here right now. But showering is like a cleansing. How many times do we get in the shower, we think of everything else, and we just get in there and washing our hair? But what you're doing for your body, cleansing it of negativity. And you can meditate in the shower by, making sure that there's purpose behind it. And thank you. And thank you for the water and the soap. And let's perk ourselves up and just a form of kind of like ritual cleansing for yourself. That's meditation, if you can be present even in the shower. Okay, so benefits, no matter what type of meditation you practice or come across, they're going to do a breathing technique with you. And like I said, at the end, I'll do a meditation, and you can either do it or turn off. But to me, it exercises our lungs. It's when we can relax like that, it helps our body, because I think all this tension and when we're not paying attention what our bodies are saying, when we don't feel, just don't feel right, the tension, this, causes, I believe, causes illnesses to your body, because you're all wound up, you know what I mean? So when you're meditating, you're paying attention to that, and you can just relax and sit back and breathe, and it works your lungs. And you can focus down the road as you practice it, you can focus that breath into certain areas of your body that aren't feeling good. And it's a self-healing kind of practice that you can do. You tend to when you practice meditation, you see things clearer. Your intuition becomes stronger because you're used to listening to the guidance. You're opening yourself up, and you can quiet yourself more. And communications with spirit, something I'll talk about in the history that I have with meditation, about really coming to understand. I mean, if you go to church or prayer or whatever, however you do it, hopefully you fully understand that when you speak in that format, prayer, meditation, someone does hear you. And I have experienced certain things that leave no doubt in my mind that if you can see it and you can believe it, it will be, spirit hears you. When it's coming from your heart and not just your head, coming from your heart, you are communicating with spirit. And the more you do it, the more channels open up. So, I think everybody is born with intuitions, and maybe not everybody's meant to be like a medium or psychic, sort of, to that extent. But we do have the ability to strengthen our intuitions that help guide us through the day. How many situations have you been in where your intuition tells you don't go that way, or don't go around that person? That strong thing, your whole body is saying, no, today is not the time to be around that person, and you ignore it, and you end up around that person, and you get in trouble, or something negative happens. You didn't listen to your intuitions. But when spirit sees that you do try, and you hear that, and no matter what, you make excuse or whatever and say, I don't have time today, but maybe another day. It's not that person's bad. It's just maybe the energy they're carrying. Some people are like vampires, and they suck your energy out. So maybe your intuition is saying, you don't need that today. Go do what you're supposed to be doing. So the more you follow it, the stronger that those signals get. The more you can recognize the signals. Okay, we can get into that another time. But okay. One little thing that I'm sure, I don't know that you've heard before, but I truly believe that we're not just physical beings. We're spiritual beings here having a physical experience. So that has to be balanced in us. And like we do for our physical bodies, we walk, we eat right, to make it the best that we can. Some people are better at than others, but we still do things to try to take care of ourselves, our health-wise. Well, we got to do the same thing spiritually, and part of that practice is things like yoga, meditation, using tools like I do with my tarot cards to build my intuitions and to work my intuition. So that's like spiritual workout. We also need to do things to strengthen that part of us. And that's the whole thing about, balance within ourselves, and everything should have a balance to it. Your relationships, the energy you put out and the energy that you're allowed to come in. Same thing with our, when the mind and the body and the spirit are balanced, then it's so much easier to live the life that we wanted to, that we are co-creators of, what we draw to ourselves. Okay. Got to do the work. Okay, so my history with meditation practices. Okay. So, like I said before, I was teenage runaway. Now I will say that from the time I was a young girl, I think like 10, 11, maybe up to 12, spirituality was always important to me. I didn't understand religions, but I knew there was something there. And, I've gone back to the church on my own at that age to have my communion and to ask questions. And, often I wouldn't really get the answers that I felt true to me or good for me. Not that there's not a lot of good information in different religions, but I do believe that they're all here for different types of people, and that's what they connect to. And as long as it helps you to be a better person and to connect with others, I'm all for it. It just wasn't the answers that fit my type of personality. So that being said, there were a lot of things going on in my life, and I was a runaway, and I ended up from New York to California in Los Angeles, where I crossed paths with a woman by name of Marlene that kind of rescued me, because this other woman was going to turn me in as a runaway, and she said, no, I'll take her in. And she was my mom's age, and her name was Marlene. She was a hairdresser, but she also was a medium, a psychic. I didn't know that when we first met, but it didn't take me long to figure that out, or for us to talk about it. So anyways, she also taught meditation once a week at a head shop. I don't know if they still call them head shops, paraphernalia and posters and albums and things like that is what Roland sold. So she would hold meditation class in the evening time. And there'd be a good amount of people there every week. And so that's how I got introduced to meditation, and she was able to do a variety of guided meditations for us, but I did learn about the breathing and such. And I will say that I'll talk about the different types of meditation that we experienced, but I had one situation with her that's what changed my life. She, like I said, she was a medium, so one time she did, for the class, let spirits come through her to talk to different people in the class. Okay, at the same time, she also worked with a group of other psychics that had different talents, whatever, and they worked with police and families and stuff for missing people. And I was fortunate enough to be part of that at one point, one session, but it was about a young guy that had been killed, from what they found out, and he was actually buried alive. It's a long story, and it just I felt connected to him from day one. His name was Stephen, and after having that experience, when we did the meditation classes, you go to your garden or your sanctuary in your meditation, and that was a place that was free from harm and blah 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 blah. And I would often bring Steve, because I saw a picture of him, so I knew what he looked like, and also I just wanted to bring him there. And we went swimming in this pond that cleansed us, and it was my intention that he pass peacefully, and I was just worried about his spirit, sort of thing, and it just felt right that I should do that, and I did it several times. So by the time she did this class where spirits came through, I'd probably taken Steve into my meditation 3 or 4 times, and um, she had read for most of the people in the class, and I was like the last one. And then she said Stephen's guide was coming through, and he wanted to thank me for bringing him to my garden. And I mean, I just bawled my eyes out because, I did that, but the connection between it really being real, that was actually happening, there was still a connection. I just thought it was my imagination. That was a good thing for me, but I never talked about it with anybody that I did that. I didn't talk. Yes, she was psychic, obviously, but still, I just understood that whether it's God, the energy that we're all of, or someone in particular that passed, when you talk to them from your heart with those intentions, they hear it. So that always stayed with me. And even after leaving California, going back home, I didn't practice meditation like I should have. Everything has its timing. But one thing I did do is always have a regular conversations with God. And when I saw that book, that was such a connection for me too. But yeah, so I did a regular basis. When I wrote my journal, it was always Dear God, because I knew if I wrote in that, I had to write truths, because God knows, spirit, whatever you want to call it, knows the truth. You can't bullshit spirit. So anyways, then the thing that got me meditating again, I was a single parent, and when my son, uh, it was right after or right before 9/11 happened, that my son went into the military and into the Coast Guard, and I was alone for the first time in a long time. And I had moved to Utica, New York, and just wasn't doing good. I don't, you could call it empty nest syndrome. I wasn't making good choices. I was lonely, so I just met friends that really shouldn't even bothered with, but I'll take responsibility for that I just was not making good choices. And it got really bad, and I got really low, and I was teetering on suicide one night, afternoon actually, and crying my eyes out. But when you get to that point, and you're totally here in your emotions, my experience was that I was closest to spirit that I'd ever been in my life. And it was at that point that I was like right on that edge, and it was my choice. I understand, freedom of choice. um, I said out loud, I'm not giving up. Okay, it was very clear at that moment that it was through meditation and spiritual practices that I was not practicing, and not doing myself any favors by not practicing, that was the one thing that was always going to turn my life around. And I just saw it really clearly. So to spirit, I made a vow. Okay, I'm going to get with it. I'm not giving up. I'm going to start practicing my spiritual practices, and help me. If you can bring me a spiritual guide or a physical guide like Marlene to help me, I'm open to it, that sort of thing. And from that moment, I mean, I got up off the floor where I was sitting, and found my tarot cards, got them out, and started studying those more, because I had just got them that year. And practicing my meditation, all that. And I'm telling you what, because I think in those times when you really can recognize those sort of things in your heart, spirit's listening, and created movements almost immediately. Things started to shift, and I kept going with it, and it was almost like on a weekly basis that more came, that helped me and evolved, and it got me to the point where I did have a physical guide. Her name was Edna. Um, Probably less than a year is when I met Edna, and then we both knew we were supposed to spend time together, and spent a whole year every Tuesday. Her family was great in that they always give us the time, and we did spiritual work. And that's when I created the augury board, and it just, this is another conversation for another time. It is in the box there. But anyways, it just showed me during that time how meditation was so important for me to open up the channels of communication to help calm me and help me to think more clearly about things. And yeah, the more you do it, the more truth you see and can understand. And sometimes that is a hard thing to see truths that point to what you need to let go of because it's not working for you, whether it's people or situations or whatever. You got to be true to yourself. If you know, want to make changes in your life, you can't go forward holding on to things that do not have good balance with you, give and take and such. So anyways, you know, I just kept talking. I don't know where I am. Yeah, when I talk about improvements, I'm talk about recognizing truths and what is no longer needed, and the rewards of movement from spirit, from because you start creating an energy around you, and so you're going to draw that type of energy towards you from other things, and that's when you create the physical world around you that you really want to experience. It just makes all the difference. And today, like I don't, you know, for a few years there until I felt stronger and that, you know, I've done a lot of cleansing and, you know, let go of a lot of things that don't work for me. I was practicing meditation, a way of sitting in a certain posture and such. But now I've come to understand for myself because I'm very at peace here. You know, I'm looking out now, and that's why I chose to do this on my porch because I love watching the deer who is out in the woods here and birds and squirrels and everything else. It's very peaceful, and when I'm sitting out here, I don't really have to think about other things. It's just natural for me to just really appreciate my environment and the flowers that I've got and such, and that is meditation. To me, that's meditation. So I do come out here in the morning and I do about 5 minutes of breathing and settling myself down, and but you know, there's often times when I'm just being present in other ways. So I do practice meditation on a regular basis, but not in the same forms that I did during the times when I really had a lot of work to do, and that just helped kind of center me. Okay, you got to do the work. That's something Edna said to me all the time. You got to do the work in order to make changes in your life. You don't like the way things are going. You really need to take time out for yourself. Be true to yourself. Be honest with yourself. And get, you know, if you want to take my idea of, you know, writing letters to God, you can't, you know, or spirit, whatever you want to call it, what the issues are. You'll find that if you got it in your head, you can't bullshit, BS. I guess I shouldn't swear on this, but BS spirit knows truth. You'll find that it's harder and harder to write down here because you're understanding. Okay, I'm not only BS and spirit, which we're of anyways. It's me that BS and or lying too, and you're able to work out a lot that way. I am going to, I mean, I think that's about all I can share, except doing a breathing exercise with you, which I'm going to do at the end in case some people just don't want to do it. That's fine. So for right now, what I'll do is pick my subject for next week and do the 3 cards. And then at the end of that, I'll do a meditation practice. I'm actually going to probably pause to see if maybe my grandson or granddaughter want to do this, but they're kind of camera shy, so I don't know if that they will. If they don't, I'll just talk you through it myself. Okay, so let's pick our subject for next week. I hope that helps some of you in thinking about meditation and how that might benefit you in your life, or at least make you more conscious about being present and taking time out. You know, your body, your physical body will tell you a lot of things. Okay, let me point one more thing out. When I was getting ready to do this and I talk about being nervous and everything, you know, your body has 2 kind of different ways of being nervous. One is your body will tell you when the situation's bad. If you're like nervous, stomach hurting kind of nervous, that's your body telling you not a good situation, turn around and walk away, sort of thing. Especially when you meet other people, you can feel their energy if it's really negative through your body, through your stomach. And, try to honor that. And then there's the nervousness of your spirit being excited. But sometimes we interpret it like, I'm not really excited, I'm scared. Well, that's because, this is new to me, and it is a way for me to get back into spiritual practices or communicating with people, even though it's just one-sided at this moment. But, I recognized it when I was walking out, like, why am I so nervous? It's like, oh, my spirit's just excited about doing this, that I'm going to be able to talk about these things, which have, in the end, been so beneficial to me. So all is good. Just get past the nervousness, start talking, and everything will be fine. Okay. So, and I realized when I did this last week that unlike a mirror, it's not reversed, so you would be able to see. Okay. Oh, well, how appropriate is that? Next week, I see when I look at it, it's reverse. But I don't think when you look at it, it's reverse. But it's Edna and Marlene. Marlene's the psychic out in California, and Edna's the sister that I had spiritual guide in New York when I most needed someone. And so I'll be talking about them too, and what they meant to me, and our relationship, and what we did with, and such. So I'm excited about talking about them because, anyways. Okay, so Edna and Marlene next week. Okay, let's pull 3 cards. See, I was more organized. I wrote myself notes and whatever that were right in front of me. I even, because I kept forgetting what this is called, video and channel, so I even wrote me a little note and stuck it underneath my camera so that if I had to say video or channel, I'd be able to look down and see those words. Crazy. Okay, so let's do our 3 cards. And when I do these cards, let me show you them. I just shuffle them, and then what I do is when I feel like I'm clearing my intention, I think I'm going to keep going with the intention of what do we need to know from the past, present, and the future, because that seemed to work pretty good for us as a lesson. But I'll shuffle them, and when I feel like that intention is definitely there and ready to be pulled, then I fan them face down, kind of like that, across the table, and then I use my intuitions and I pick what cards I think were meant for those positions of past, present, and future. So let me just take a minute here and kind of cleanse the cards from last week and start into this week. It's getting harder. These cards are fairly large cards, and I have carpal tunnel and arthritis going in my hand, so it's getting harder for me to be able to shuffle these, but I truly believe as long as even if you're just holding them. Okay, let's do that. And set my intention. I'll still pick the right cards for the reading. Let's see what this week's thoughts of the lesson would be. Okay. Okay. Let me look. I don't know if my card's been reversed. Okay, I'm going to look at this from both sides because I think the cards are reversed. They're kind of all mixed up, reversed, upright, so forth and so on. So I'm going to just keep my mind open as far as whether it has a reverse meaning or straight up. Okay, so the first card in the past is the Empress. Empress is the mother, the crone, the sister, feminine energy. Three to me is all about mind, body, and spirit coming together and balancing. Um, in order to make something grow, you have to nurture it. And so in the past, it's, okay, when I pulled the card, first thing I thought was uh, feminine energy is so important right now. We are making a shift as far as the whole planet and way of our being, to go from a more masculine energy to a balance of more feminine energy, like the men have always been in charge kind of thing. Now it's trying to get balanced, between masculine and feminine energy. So um, the only thing that's really come to mind for that is questioning the feminine energy in your life, whether it's the actual women in our lives and what they meant to us, and whether the guidance and nurturing we got, are we missing that? Are we still relying on that? Um, Feminine energy is also, we give birth. The women give birth, and then they nurture, whether it's through breastfeeding or whatever. That's just their natural way. It's not a man's natural way to nurture like a woman's, to help it grow. So it being reversed almost makes me feel like, okay, in the things in the past, if there was something that you wanted to um, uh, give birth to, whether it's an idea or actually birth, um, what did you do or not do to help nurture that? It may be something that, okay, I'm looking at the next card now. Maybe it's something that you tried doing once before and it didn't work out, and you want to try do it again, or you're trying to fine tune it. What is it about that I want to do, and maybe I need to try again, but not in the same way. Well, the best thing to do is to look in the past for when you started a project before. What did you not do to nurture that, to get it going, to be the best it can be? Because in the middle is the Four of Cups. Okay, and this card to me is always what have your experiences been? What have you filled your cups with? What have you filled your life with? That either makes you happy or makes you sad. Um, so if there's a lot going in your life right now that you really want to get this project going, but it just isn't giving you the joy and stuff that you expected it to, or the happiness, or the feedback, then really kind of review how you set things up in the past. If you don't really recognize what you did right, what you did wrong, you're only going to repeat those mistakes again. So I feel like there's really a call for, not saying that that's a bad thing for you to get involved in, but maybe you're making it bigger than it should be, or can be, or is possible to be, and maybe you need to narrow it back. You really need to look at internally, almost, how was that rewarding for you, or what did it lack? Why do you think it didn't turn out the way you had hoped it would be? Was it too much dreaming, or was it not enough dreaming? Okay. Yeah, if everything's balanced in our lives, if we really paid attention to our intuitions, if we nurtured it the best we could, sometimes things just don't work out, but you should have signals in your gut. Maybe you started a business and you just wanted to hold on, everything was telling you it just isn't going to work. Okay, you got to be true to yourself, and you got to be true to what you're seeing. And there's some review that needs to be done. Okay, if we have to scrap this, but we still feel like, yes, this is kind of an avenue that is something I'm supposed to do, then that's fine. Fine tune it. What is it that's not working about this? Where's my energy best spent? How can I nurture that in a different way, that idea? Because for the future, it's saying, it's the hermit. It's the taking the time out that by this time in your life, you should be able to recognize what's not working, what should work, what you should be doing, being true to yourself about that. And the only way you're really going to recognize the light of the situation is to really go within yourself, be truthful with yourself, to recognize what you've got to offer and what you're not good at. And if you're not good enough at something, maybe you need to go back to school and get a little bit more of an education on the situation. I mean, the people that, okay, like my son, he started taking over cooking responsibilities at a very young age. Was he the best at it? No, but he kind of liked experimenting and doing that. And, and even though he did pretty well, when he went into the military, he went, went to school and became the cook on board, the chef on board. And then when he got out, he realized he really loved that. Was he qualified enough to get a job as a chef? He said no, even though he knew a lot about cooking and serving a lot of people and figuring all that out. The next step was to further his education in that, and it just took off for him. So those are the kind of things that I'm talking about. Are you as qualified to do what you're wanting to do as you think you are? Maybe not. Be honest with yourself. Really look at the situation and see what within yourself you might need improving on for making something work. Yeah, I mean, I hope that helped. I'm trying to think for myself a situation like this. Okay, what comes to mind? I'm sorry. I didn't get married when I was younger. Okay, and there was a lot of reasons for that. I come from a mother and father who have been married multiple times, and the father situation was not good, and stepfather and all that other stuff, and I just shied away from that. I didn't know how to have a relationship, and there was, several things in my life that made me shy away from trusting anybody and such. Well, the only way I could get past that was to do work on myself, to see what it was that I was blocking in my life, to be better at having relationships, and through a lot of work and everything, I eventually got to the point where it's like, okay, I think I'm ready for a partner. And through the work, I ended up meeting my husband, and but it took years, sometimes. So we have to recognize what we're good at, what we're not good at, and do that work. So anyways, enough said on that. I hope that there's some information there that you can use and think about and make things a little bit better for yourself and understanding. Okay. So as far as like meditation, I am going to pause this, which I didn't want to do a lot of that. Just see if I can get one of my grandchildren here to actually participate so that you can see how they react, how they're able to do it for the very first time themselves. If not, I'll be right back and I'll just do the best I can. All right. Thank you. Okay, so they're either still sleeping or just in the rooms, and I don't want to disturb them. So what I'm going to have you do, first, for those that don't want to participate, I'm going to send you off now, and I give thanks to all of you that have been present today, and I pray that you go forward in your day feeling more connected to all that is around you. Let the light of spirit shine in you, through you, and all around you. Blessed be, so be it. You can see it and believe it, it will be. Okay, so for those of you that would like to try just a breathing technique, breathing meditation that can be done in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes. It might be a little bit longer now because I'm setting these up, but once you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing, you can certainly do it on your own whenever you can. So for those that you want to stay, let's just sit back and relax. Sit in a position that you would find yourself in your car, at home, in a comfortable chair. You know, if your body's a little tense, just try to relax it a little bit. What we're just going to do, you can close your eyes for sure, unless you just like the view that you've got, which I love my view. So I'm just going to have you take natural breaths in and out through your nose and out your mouth at your regular rhythm. So you can focus on how your breath feels coming in through your nose and out through your mouth. Relaxing yourself. Feeling peaceful and comfortable. So relaxed. Take another deep breath in. As you take deeper breaths, I want you to feel that air coming in through your nose, down into your chest, raising your chest, and then the air out through your mouth again. Relax your shoulders. Breathe in, exhale, out. Breathe in, down into your chest and back out. Relaxing your arms, your shoulders. This time breathe a little deeper and fill your lungs. Feel them expand. Breathe in, try to hold it a second in your lungs, and then exhale. Feel your back relaxing, your upper back, your lower back. This time breathe a little deeper into your belly, feeling it expand. Again, in through your nose, into your chest and your lungs, and then to your stomach, and exhale. Again, feeling relaxed and comfortable and at peace. Take a couple more breaths on your own, understanding that as you do, you're sending signals to your body that it's safe and you're at peace and comfortable. And you're healing your body. Now go to your regular rhythm of breathing. This time I want you just to focus on your body. If there's any area that feels tense, just relax it. If your mind drifts, it's okay. Just come back to focusing on my words and your body and your breathing. Relax your forehead and your face, your jaw, and your neck, down through your shoulders and your arms, your upper back, your hands and your fingers, your lower back, through your buttocks, and through your thighs and your knees, to your calves, and your ankles, your feet and your toes. Just breathe and relax. Be comfortable and at peace. Just spend a couple minutes breathing and relaxing. relieving any tension. Just wiggle your toes and your fingers to bring you back here to now. Knowing that what you've done for yourself will last all day long. But if you do feel tense or angry or just need a moment, you can find the space again by just breathing. So I hope that helps, and I hope that gave you a good introduction to meditation. I hope you have a great day, and I kind of love yous. All right, bye.